Introduction to Programming. In this video, we will begin learning how to read the AP Computer Science Principles Pseudocode language. What is a program? A program is a set of instructions given to a computer to follow. For a real-life program, the instructions would be written in a specific language, for example, Java, Python, C++, etc., etc. For this course, however, we're going to learn a pseudocode language, which is code written informally so that it's easier for humans to understand but cannot actually be read by a computer. Assignment. Assignment occurs when you assign a value to a specific variable. For example, consider this line of pseudocode. Here we declare a variable named x, then assign 5 to it using the arrow operator. We can also assign the result of an expression to a variable. For example, consider this line of pseudocode. Here we declare a variable named x, then assign 16 to it using the arrow operator. Note I say 16 because that's the result when we evaluate 10 plus 3 times 2. That expression evaluates to 16. We can also assign string literals to a variable. A string literal is a sequence of characters. A character can be a letter, a number, punctuation, or anything else that can be typed and displayed on a screen. For example, consider this line of pseudocode. Here we declare a variable named name, then assign the string literal Kevin Huynh to it using the arrow operator. We always use the arrow operator when we want to assign a value to a variable, and string literals are always enclosed inside quotation marks. Now consider this pseudocode. These 3 lines are all examples of sequential instructions because they are all executed sequentially in the order they are written. 3 things are happening in this pseudocode. First, a variable named x is created and assigned the value 5. Then, a variable named y is created and assigned the value 10. Then, a variable named z is created and assigned the value 5, which is the value stored inside x. Display. If we want something displayed to the screen, we use the display keyword. For example, consider this line of pseudocode. Here, we print the string literal hello world to the screen using the display keyword. Notice that display is written in all caps. You must put it in all caps anytime you use the display command. Now consider this line. Here we print the numeric value 25.78 to the screen. Notice I did not put quotation marks around this value because I did not intend for it to be a string literal. Rather, I intended for it to be just a number. Consider this line of code. Here, the pseudocode prints 19 to the screen, which is the result of evaluating 2 times 8 plus 3. 2 times 8 plus 3 equals 19. Now consider this line of code. Here we put quotation marks around the expression. This pseudocode prints the expression 2 times 8 plus 3 to the screen. Note that I said it prints the expression, not the result of the expression. That's because it's enclosed inside quotation marks. Since it is enclosed inside quotation marks, the expression gets treated as a string literal rather than something to be evaluated. Now consider these 3 lines of pseudocode. 3 things are happening here. First, a variable named grade is created and assigned the value 285, which is the result of adding 90, 95, and 100. Then, grade gets divided by 3. Then the result of that, which is 95, gets assigned back to grade. Then lastly, 95, which is the value stored inside grade at the time we reach this line of code, 95 gets displayed to the screen. Now consider this last display example. Here, 4 things are happening. First, a variable named x is created and assigned the value 15. Then a variable named y is created and assigned the value 25. Then x gets assigned the value 25, which is the value stored inside of y. Then lastly, 25 gets displayed to the screen, which is the value stored inside x by the time we reach that point in the program. Inputs. If we want to receive a value from the user entered through the keyboard, we use the input keyword. For example, consider this line of pseudocode. four things are happening here. First, we created a variable named x. Then, we wait for the user to enter either a number or a string literal. We then wait for the user to press enter. Once the user presses enter, the program then assigns the value entered by the user to x, the variable. Now consider this last pseudocode example. Five things are happening here. First, the user is asked to enter his or her first name using the display command. We then create a variable named name. We then wait for the user to type a response, then press enter. We then store the user's response inside the name variable. Then that variable name gets displayed to the screen.